Appointment at fixmylowt.com.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thank you for joining me. However you may be joining, whether that's on 94.1 on your FM dial, if you happen to be locked in and listening at sasportstar.com, via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you happen to be watching live on YouTube, that's right, we stream all of our shows via YouTube. Just go there, search SA Sports Star, go ahead, like, subscribe while you're at it. You're able to comment along with the show, or feel free to call in the old-fashioned way, 210-656-ESPN, 656 3776. If you want to be a part of the conversation, we always welcome that. Lots to get into today as the guys just finished their first full day out in Oxnard, California on the radio. They've been there since Saturday, but first full day in action on the air, and already a couple of really good gets in the guest venue, especially earlier this morning on the morning huddle as they talked with second year pro now and center Cooper Beebe, and kind of what's going on with the new offense and Schottenheimer and how he's adjusting to year two. Good stuff with Cooper Beebe earlier this morning on the morning huddle.
Joining us now on the program, number 56 in your program, number 1 in your heart.
Right, a Piper High.
That's right. Cooper Beebe joins us on the program. Good morning, sir.
Morning, guys. How are you?
We're good. You must be one of the early risers.
Oh, of course. Got to be.
Yeah. You been in there lifting already or what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You
look
strong. You look strong.
We were laughing at the music selection. It was the coaches that are choosing Daniel Boone and the other ones.
I guess back in the day, Tyron used to pick the music.
Yeah.
And now that he's gone, the coaches have taken over. They don't trust any of you guys.
I don't know if it's gotten any better.
But yeah.
It's not the same.
All right. Starter. This is you're the guy at center this year. Last year it was you and Brock Hoffman. It was kind of we don't really know which direction we're going at that position. Does it feel different coming in feeling like you've got the job, or at least you're the guy who's expected to have the job, than it did last year when it felt like you were in a true 50-50 battle?
I think for me, you can never get complacent. I think for me, being able to have last year just makes me a lot more comfortable this year. But I know got to continue to push myself, continue to grow. I can't get comfortable. So I'm still trying to go out there day by day, get better and better. But there's definitely a little, relief, little comfortability, just being able to be comfortable having all that experience last year going into this year.
Well, obviously you had a good year last year. And what was when you look at where you were this time last year at the end of the year, what was the biggest growth in your mind? Where did you get to at the end of the year that you wanted to get to?
I think the biggest thing for me was just the confidence, because obviously I never played center before, and playing it first time in the NFL is definitely a wake up call. There was definitely a lot to learn. Last year I was kind of just trying to figure things out, throughout the year, trying different things. Zach Martin, shout out to him. He was teaching me pretty much how to play center, and but yeah, no, it was just the confidence and going up there, being confident with my calls, commanding the offense. And I think that's the point where I've got to this year where I'm comfortable doing that now. I'm out there confident in the calls I'm making. So I think that was the biggest step that I got to.
So with the injury to Rob Jones yesterday, it sounded like a pretty nasty thing. Broken neck is what it got reported, but obviously not around for the foreseeable future. This line looks a lot like it did last year, except you replaced a longtime vet with a rookie. How much growth or how much improvement do you expect just by playing another year together? Like if you know that how important is that to an offensive line?
Oh, it's very important. Just understanding, the guys next to you and how they fit different things, their mannerisms. Like, especially like, me with Tyler Smith, like I know how he pass sets. He likes to be aggressive. So I base my set off that anytime I'm going to the left. It's just getting to know the guys next to you and how they play is such big. And you can only get that through reps. So the more reps we get, the better it's going to be, the more comfortable we'll get with each other, and we'll just continue to grow.
Over the years, the Cowboys have paid fines getting y'all that continuity, getting that extra reps because it matters. And I know under McCarthy, that was the most important thing to him. It seemed every year, the continuity with this line and the ballet that is the movement.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's extraordinary to watch. Just starting today, the difference we'll see in 4 days.
Yeah,
watch the way you guys start
yeah.
meshing. It's really an amazing thing to watch when you guys get there. And I do think the continuity matters. But you're thrust into a situation of leadership now. Do you feel any added responsibility now walking in? You got a couple of young guys that are going to be beside you. You're going to have to carry through already.
Yeah, a little bit. Just having gone through what I did last year. I know what it takes, and I'm trying to lead in the book, and try to give him a leg up everything that I learned last year. So, he doesn't have to learn, he's obviously going to have to learn the hard way as everybody has to, being a rookie in the NFL,
Right.
But hopefully I can give him a leg up and teach him stuff that I learned, later in my rookie year that he can learn now.
Is it better not knowing what you don't know right now? Just go do it instead of
–
overthinking it.
Yeah, I think, just kind of going out there and playing free, I think is really big. I think, especially last year, I kind of found myself, getting too tense, too nervous. I think that affected me, especially here in training camp. But yeah, and I'm just telling him, man, go play free. Things will take care of itself, but just go out there, have fun. At the end of the day, we're playing a kid's game. Like, you got to go out there and enjoy it.
When you guys, the practice yesterday, everything seemed it seemed very loose. It seemed like a lot of celebrating, a lot of high fives. It looked a lot different than the practices last year looked. How different has it been with the new regime here, and how is morale different even from a year ago?
Yeah, I think Shai has just done a tremendous job. I think one of the biggest things with him is he lets the players be them. He doesn't try to make them be, robotic. We have a lot of different personalities on this team, and he lets those shine, and you can see it out there in the practice, the energy, the emotion, the passion people play with. He lets that, shine, and he acknowledges that, and I think that's something that we needed. You need to be out there having fun, playing free, and it just makes you play that much better.
Oh, let's talk about your room and playing fun. Okay, who is the grumpiest lineman? Who's the dude that not a morning guy? Who's the guy in the room that you just got to shut up around?
I don't know if we have any of those. I think, especially with O-line, I think a lot of them are all morning people. To be honest with you.
So you're all annoying. All right. Who's the what's the rookie responsibility this year? You got them doing anything?
Honestly, they're kind of getting soft. I know, some of the veterans, I was having to go, get food for them, every day and all this other stuff. And, I feel like some of the veteran guys are kind of getting soft on the rookies this year.
Well, that's part of your leadership role there, Coop. You're going to have to put them to work.
All right. So far of the defensive linemen, who's the guy when he grabs onto you, you say, oh, damn, this dude is strong.
It's got to be Ose. Just going against him, the majority of the time. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. We battle every time we go against each other, and he's the one that is definitely, he gets a hold of you. Oh, watch out! I better have my feet in the ground, or this could end up bad.
A lot of Cowboy fan happy to hear that.
It's funny when you look at a guy like him. He doesn't. I mean, compared to someone like we were talking about Jay Toya, who looks like a car, like he's a
Volkswagen.
He's a walking refrigerator. But then there's guys like that kind of strength, and then there's guys who you look at him and you go, I mean, obviously he's a professional athlete, he's going to be strong, but sometimes it's the guys like that that'll surprise you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got a new quarterback, backup quarterback. What's Milton like in the huddle?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
He's definitely a character.
He looks like it.
His personality is awesome, and just like what I was talking about earlier, man, he loves to have fun, play free. I think he's done a really good job of learning the offense and taking that in stride and just continuing to push Dak, and I think that's what we always need. You
Mhm.
always need somebody behind you that's going to make you better. And I think Dak has said that multiple times that Joe's making him better. So that's what you want.
Life in the Big 12 for your Wildcats. Should we expect a return to the top of the Big 12? Disappointment last season. It feels like your coach there has really got that program kind of pointed in the right direction now.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Kleiman's phenomenal. I would expect us to be at the top again. Especially with our quarterback Avery Johnson having that year under his belt, he's going to be more confident. That dude's a freak athlete. Watch out for Dylan Edwards at running back. Our defense will be stacked, so I expect us to be at the top again.
Okay, there are guys like me. I get a lot of grief for this. Like I look at the Big 12 now as like a lesser conference than when Texas and Oklahoma were in it. Do you just adding the other stuff? Like those aren't real football schools. I feel like sell me on the quality of Big 12 football in 2025.
Yeah, I think with the Big 12, I mean, every game's a battle. I don't think, you don't have the teams and like some of the other conferences that are at the low level that, you look at on the schedule. It's like, hey,
it's not a week off.
Yeah, it's not a week off. We're not playing a non-conference game halfway through the year. Like we don't get that luxury. Every game's a battle, and people may look at it like, oh, there's a bunch of 7 and 5 teams. Well, it's because every team's good. You don't go out there. You don't have one team that just completely dominates everybody else. Like it's a super competitive league, and I think the quality is really high, and people just don't understand that.
When Texas and Oklahoma were there, sort of the bell cow football programs, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I feel like most people circled those games as like, man, we get to go up against these guys. We're going to kick their ass. Like it's like a big game. What game now for Kansas State is the let's go? This is our big week. I know it's not Kansas because yeah.
No, I don't honestly.
Is it Oak State?
Probably, I would probably say Oklahoma State. Yeah. Just because every time, I mean, especially when I was there, we always went back and forth. We always struggled to play in Boone Pickett Stadium. They always struggled to play in Manhattan, so it was always a good battle. So I'd probably say them now, yeah.
Yeah. You loved your time at Kansas State?
Oh, loved it. It was phenomenal. I can't ask for a better situation. I loved it up there.
Was that your goal all along? That's where you wanted to be from day one?
Yeah.
Like when you were in high school, you're like, okay, when I finish, if things go right, this is where I want to be?
Yeah, I wanted to stay close. My family is a big, support system for me. And, being from Kansas City, it was only an hour and a half to Manhattan. So my parents, could make it to every game. And I wanted them to be there. So I wanted to stay close. And, Manhattan just kind of called to me. The community, the fans, the people, man, it's just a phenomenal place to be.
A good college town.
How often do your parents get to go down to Dallas and see the games there?
Oh, they're there every game.
That's awesome.
Yep. And then they make some road games depending on, obviously how far and that kind of thing. But they're there every home game.
That's awesome. So tomorrow's off day. So what's on the plans?
Yeah, I'll just get up, stretch, kind of move around, hit the tubs, that kind of thing. And honestly, probably sit down and play video games for 8 hours in my day.
Is there a restaurant you look forward to? Is there a place that you hit on the regular?
Be honest, I don't leave here very often on my off days. I kind of just stay.
This is a business trip.
Yeah, stay home. I'm especially I don't really know everything. I don't know. I'm still learning. The whole training camp experience and that kind of thing. But yeah. Usually I just stick to the around here, the hotel, play my video games, and then,
What are y'all playing?
It's called Ready or Not.
Ready or Not.
Yeah, it's like a SWAT inspired game. You can team up with your guys and you got to go in, clear buildings and that kind of thing. It's really a very funny experience. Playing with the guys and just, it's just a good time to be.
Do you get to beat up the suspects?
You can, but you
this feels like a crazy game, a police game where you can
you got to look it up. It's going pretty viral right now. Like, you'll have to look it up. It's a fun time.
That is Cooper Beebe,
yes, sir.
The starting center for the Dallas Cowboys. Hey man, we appreciate the time, appreciate it, and good luck this season.
Best of luck, good health.
Grow,
appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
Pleasure. Thanks for stopping by.
That was Cooper Beebe, the second-year starting center for the Dallas Cowboys. as, apparently the vets are getting soft on the rookies here lately in camp, but expect big things from him, especially just, learning the system, learning to be a starting center, learning to be a center, period. Last season, he's coming in with a lot more command, it seems, this year, which could mean big things for the offensive line. Although there was a couple of setbacks on said offensive line over the last 2 days in camp. Yesterday, it was Rob Jones who went down, and he has been diagnosed with a broken bone in his neck, suffered in yesterday's practice, is now expected to miss 2 to 3 months. And then earlier today, Tyler Guyton went down with a lower leg injury. He did walk off under his own power, albeit very gingerly. So something to keep an eye on right there, as a couple of the starting unit has already gone down with a couple of injuries. One going to be pretty substantial, at least with Rob Jones. So awaiting to hear the latest when it comes to Tyler Guyton. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, they weren't the only ones with people. The Blitz, they got to talk with Cowboys starting safety Malik Hooker, and really good conversation with Malik Hooker, who feels like he missed out maybe when it comes to the amount of money you can make now that you see what receivers are making. We'll explain next when we get back here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the second annual Back to School Drive this Saturday from 11 till 1 or while supplies last at the Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-age children while supplies last, so don't be late. This Saturday, 11 till 1, presented by the Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Sponsored in part by Las Palapas, Array, the College of Healthcare Professionals, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Get one free set of Brake Best brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Let's get wild.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me this evening as we take you up to the top of the hour. And then coming up, 8 o'clock, Rangers, Angels in Anaheim. We'll have that for you right here as the Rangers have moved into a tie for one of those final wild card spots in the American League and are now with the sweep of the Astros by the A's, just 4 games back, tied with the Mariners in the AL West. So that's going to be very interesting to follow as the gap's starting to get closer and closer. But the big stuff, Dallas Cowboys training camp out in Oxnard, California. Just heard from Cooper Beebe, who joined the guys on the morning huddle. Don't forget tomorrow, more interviews, more stuff going on. They mentioned him talking to Cooper Beebe, but Jay Toya, the rookie defensive tackle, who is a mammoth of a man, he'll be sitting down with the morning huddle tomorrow. So be sure to lock in for that at 6 in the morning. Not sure when they're going to have him, but do know he is on the schedule for tomorrow. Mickey Spagnola joining the Blitz tomorrow afternoon. So always a good time talking with Mickey. But earlier today, great conversation had with Malik Hooker, who joined the Blitz as they talked about where he's at, what he is most comfortable doing, and is the stigma about turning wide receivers into DBs true?
Malik Hooker here on the Blitz. He's Joe. I'm Jason. We're down in San Antonio. Practice today. How was it?
Oh, it was great practice. It was great practice. We've been stacking the days. Both sides been kind of getting the best of each other day in and day out. So, it's been good competition going on out there.
Well, putting the pads on. I mean, you guys haven't put on pads in a while. It's got to feel pretty good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Obviously, last time we put on pads was, I think, like January-ish, I want to say. Some guys longer. So, there's a lot of testosterone built up, a lot of guys going on out there. So, a lot of guys just, obviously happy to just get back out there and compete and doing everything we love.
Malik, Shadi said, compete every day is kind of the theme. You see it on shirts. He said the offense won yesterday.
I don't know. I ain't being biased because I'm on defense, hey, but, he said they won. I guess they won. But I feel like, out there, defense, we've been getting the best of the offense these last couple of days.
Well, Ian and I were a little surprised because we were watching it going, yeah, I mean, they ran the ball well, but, I mean, how do you not tackle to the ground, right? I thought you guys – I was a little surprised when he said earlier today that the offense won.
No, it's definitely – like I said, it's definitely been competitive the last couple of days. There's been days where, certain periods where we feel like the defense is getting the best offense. As you see in today, there was a couple periods where we feel like the offense was getting the best of us. But it's been back and forth the last couple of days, which, is good signs of a good football team. So, that's always good signs. Coming down the stretch, you need the offense to – correct on our mistakes, and we need the defense to correct on the offensive mistakes. So it's definitely, good signs for us as a football team for where we're at right now.
Malik, you brought up Shadi. What is the camp or just OTAs, everything been like with him taking over?
Oh, it's been special. It's been special. Like from day one, he started kind of rebrandishing the culture of what the team was going to be about, I guess putting us more together, having us more doing a lot of more camaraderie and stuff like that. So it's been great. You see a lot of guys having fun out there. Not saying we haven't had fun years before, but, you see a lot of guys that you can tell genuinely enjoy doing what they're doing, not only just because it's, playing in the National Football League, but who they're doing the way, and the guys and the coaches too. So it's definitely special. And like I said, I feel like not only me, but the team, we're pleased where we're at. We still got ways to go, of course, but I definitely feel like we're very pleased at, the steps we're taking forward to being a contender in the Super Bowl championship team this year.
When you think about Mike McCarthy's time, they hire from within. Like on the outside, we were wondering what was going to change. Now, we've only been here for a couple of days. We got here Saturday. I can see and feel a little bit of a different energy. How quickly did that change in the building when Shadi changed offices to the head coach one?
I'll say obviously. I feel like it was day one. From when Coach Shotty got the head coaching job, he was reaching out to a lot of guys on the team. Not only just to let guys know, obviously he was the head coach, but to genuinely check on, how the families were doing, their mental state and stuff like that. So I feel like once you got that type of coach, I feel like it makes it that much easier for the culture and the team to buy into what they're saying and believing in.
Everybody talks about pro football as a business, but he seems to approach this as a family. I mean, and he talks about that quite a bit. Is that a big change from what you're used to?
Honestly, no. I mean, every team that I've been on, it's kind of been like family oriented, but I guess you would say like he's even deeper into, being a player's coach and, a family's coach. He believes in, we're one big family and truly believes that. And guys, like I said, once you give guys that confidence that you genuinely care about them, not only as the football player, but as the man, that it makes it that much easier for, guys to go out there and play harder for you. So I feel like that's kind of what he installed in guys from day one, just by reaching out and, like I said, not necessarily saying he was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, but generally checking in on guys' mental state during the off season and their families. And I feel like, like I said, guys kind of, believed in what he was, preaching and installing in us from then.
Safety Malik Hooker joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Eberflus comes in as the defensive coordinator. What's been the biggest change there?
Honestly, for me, nothing. I had Coach Flus when I was in Indy, and like I was telling the guys before you got here, man, he's a great coach, a great guy, and just a guy that, as you seen, not only just to play for, but to get you where you want to be as a football player and try to get you to succeed the levels you want to be as, whether you want to be a Hall of Fame or a legend, whatever the case is. So, I feel like just the thing that he kind of does different is, he believes in physicality. Obviously, a lot of teams say that, but truly, like, if you're not a guy that's physical, it's hard to play for Coach Flus. And, just being, team ball, like being about the team. And I feel like that's kind of a change thing. Not saying it was different years before, but like I said, like there's just like a no tolerance thing with Flus. And I feel like that's something we needed.
Malik, you guys, obviously a lot of adversity last year. You certainly didn't finish the way you wanted to finish. How does that motivate you guys coming into camp this year?
Oh, definitely. It motivates us a lot, because we felt like we had the roster from top to bottom last year as well to be able to go out there and compete, and just to fall as short as we did and be sold as short as we was. We feel like we left a lot of plays out there. A lot more was left in the tank than we could have gave, and we feel like this is just not necessarily a year to prove anybody, but to prove ourselves right about what we got going on here. Like I said, from top to bottom, again, we got a great roster. We had some great off-season additions to the team, and we feel like, we're a team that can go out there and compete for a Super Bowl, and not only compete, can win a Super Bowl. So that's just something that we're kind of buying into. And we're, like I said, we're talking about every day and forcing each other to not only just say, but believe in truly. And, like I said, you just got to stack it day by day. And hopefully, we get to that goal at the end of the year.
Malik Hooker joining us here on the Blitz. There's a difference. Coaches talked about it, different players talking about Super Bowl, right? And you read all the national media, and people don't know how to judge this Cowboys team, and I don't know why. Because if it's first-year head coach that's never been a head coach before, that coming off of an injury, but I think Vegas has the win total at like 8.5, and I'm like 8.5, right? But you got Philadelphia and what Washington did, and the Cowboys probably the third best team in the NFC East. But players this year are not afraid to talk about Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, those other teams that we got to compete against in our division, they're good teams and great teams as well. But like I said, we know we're a great team too. We've been showing that the last couple of years. Like I said, last year was obviously disappointing. We ain't have the outcome that we had, but like you watch a lot of those games where we played those top teams and those top contender teams that been in the playoffs and made it to the Super Bowl. We've shown that we're able to, compete with them as well. So I feel like it was just little small plays that we left out there on our mistakes that, made the difference. They capitalized on our mistakes and they ended up beating us some of those games. So I feel like that was the difference. It wasn't like they was way better than us or nothing like that. Because like I said, we're a talented team, from top to bottom. And, with the scheme and the coaching staff that we brought in, I feel like that's going to make the difference. As long as guys stay locked in and do their job down in and down out and, buy into the culture, what we're coaching here, It's no doubt in our minds that we'll be able to go out there and compete and, like I said, win a Super Bowl.
Now, Malik, I got to ask you, you've been in the league for a little while. You've been with Dallas now for a little while. Do you learn and appreciate to hate teams like Philadelphia and the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders?
I mean, for me, honestly, like any team we play, I just have a dislike for because, that's just me. I'm a competitor. Like whether it's Philadelphia or whether, it's the Chiefs or whoever we're playing, that I feel like we got to treat them all the same way. At the end of the day, like who says that Philadelphia is going to be the team we got to get through in the playoffs to get to where we want to be? You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like that's the mindset that we got to have, whether it's the Eagles or, whether it's the Giants or it's the Chiefs or the Raiders, whoever it is. Like we got to install in our mind that they're in the way of our goal. We're trying to get something accomplished, and the only way to get that done is to beat this team. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of mindset I approach. And I'm sure there's guys on the team that, got the hate Philly mindset and everything, but it's just like for me, like I just have a dislike for whoever we're playing that week. It's nothing personal, but it's just like they're just in the way of what we're trying to get.
It's just business.
Yeah. No, I got to ask, because you're from Pennsylvania, right?
Yes, sir.
Who'd you grow up rooting for?
I'm from the closer side of Pittsburgh, so my whole family's Pittsburgh fans. Most of my family, obviously me coming to Dallas, they was a little disappointed me coming down here. But, over the years, they seem to have to, grown to love it to be here. My mom and them, luckily, they wasn't that into football, so they really didn't care. But once I got to Dallas and they came down there and seen not only just the culture, the team we have, the city of Dallas, and just the stuff that comes with being in Dallas, they love it. They love it. So it's been a great thing. And like I said, I'm honored. I'm happy with my hair. Grateful to be able to still be in the jersey, playing for the Cowboys. So it's been a great journey.
It's so funny because you think about all the, like as a lifelong Cowboy fan, hated Pittsburgh growing up. In fact, most teams I hate have yellow pants, man. I right? I mean, there's something in Philly and what, but I guess as a player, you just don't have that same kind of sports hate, right?
No, because for me, I honestly, I grew up watching football, but I was just always a fan of just players. Like I never had a specific team that I rooted for, nothing like that. So I was a basketball guy. Like I love watching basketball, and I was something I did more so for basketball. So for me, I never was like, oh, I hated this team or hated this player. Like I was like, man, I like. At the time, I remember I was younger. Reggie Bush was one of my favorite players. I was like, you know what? I'm a Reggie Bush fan.
Yeah, but he wore yellow pants.
He did. Yeah, so I was like, whatever he does, I just hope he scores touchdowns and gets his yards. And whatever happens with the Saints, it is what it is. But I always just individually cheer for players.
So did you always want to be a defensive back, a safety?
Honestly, I played receiver more so than in high school. Yes, sir. I started out playing receiver, and actually, when I started getting offers from Ohio State and Coach Urban and them said that they wanted me to kind of play DB, then my high school coach started transitioning me to play in DB. Because if you seen my film from high school, my back pedal was terrible back then. I was just out there just being an athlete. But as the years went by, I ended up getting to Ohio State. I think at the time it was Coach Ash who was kind of working with me. The safety in front of me was Vaughn Bell, so he spent a lot of time with me, Tyvis Powell. And they was just putting a lot of time with me day in and day out to kind of mold me into the football player that I am today. And then I think once they left, I ended up getting Coach Greg Schiano, and he spent probably the most time out of all of them with me and kind of just mold me mentally, physically, and emotionally into the football player I am. So that's kind of where it started for me. But in high school, I was just an athlete. I was terrible backpedaling. I think I started at corner. I wasn't even at safety. I was a 6-foot corner.
Now, Malik, if you were a receiver, now you're a great athlete, obviously, but if they recruited you and you couldn't backpedal, how bad were your hands as a receiver?
See, my hands was great.
Okay.
My hands was great. I was catching everything, but it was just I don't know why my backpedal was so terrible. I was able to run fast and everything, but my backpedal was just disgusting. So I had to spend a lot of time, a lot of nights trying to get my backpedal right to make it to where it is today.
Well, so that's not true. Then defensive backs can catch.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I've always heard you guys couldn't catch. That's why you're playing defense.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Like I said, I started at receiver. There's some guys that can. Miles Sanders on our team. He's from back home in the way, and he'll tell you I was pretty solid at receiver. I was pretty solid. I played against a lot of guys like Robert Foster, Jordan Whitehead, who's still in the league. He was a great player that I played against, and he was playing running back and receiver too when we played in high school. And he was real good too. So I got to disagree with that. A lot of DBs
well, it is kind of amazing though. You think about I'm going to be a receiver. coach says, no, you're going secondary.
Yeah.
If that's what it takes to make it, but then you're what? You're 9?
Yes, sir.
You look at receiver money. Oh.
Did you make a mistake?
You ever text Coach Myers say, dude, I should have been a receiver?
Kept me at receiver. And it's crazy because even another example, Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
Started at receiver and he ended up switching to DB. And you see his ball skills are still through the roof. So,
yeah.
So it's like DBs can't catch. I don't know who made that myth out there, but it ain't true.
No, it ain't true. So as a safety, and I always appreciate a good hard hitting safety.
Yes, sir.
Do you like to make the big hit, or would you rather get an interception?
For me, it's always been interceptions. Always been interceptions. From when I got to college and I caught my first interception, I scored a touchdown. Like, you can make a big hit, but you can't score a touchdown off a big hit. Somebody else can off a forced fumble.
Yeah.
But an interception, it's just like you get kind of the best of both worlds for most DBs. You can catch the pick, act like you're a receiver, and then get the score too. So I feel like that's better for me. But I like being able to balance a little bit just to show, I guess, some intimidation, but being able to show that you got ball skills too. So I try to keep it at a balance.
Well, I got to give you credit. You got courage, man, because you're the last guy. If you miss, God's gone,
touchdown, man. Touchdown. Yeah, I mean, it's like a pros and cons thing, because it's special because coach have that much confidence in you for you be able to get a guy down, whether it be one-on-one or your last line of defense. But it's also a lot of times when you get the guy one-on-one, it's a lot of green grass. It's like you only got one chance to either stumble him up to hope somebody else runs and gets him after, or you got to make the tackle. So
I'm going to ask you a very unfair question.
Mm-hmm.
What you just described, Derrick Henry or Saquon's running at you. What's going through your mind?
Just get him on the ground.
However,
like we always say, hey, just make the tackle. However you get them down, just get them on the ground.
Who's the hardest guy to try to tackle in today's game?
For me, so far that I played, I ain't gonna lie, Bijan Robinson, and Jahmyr Gibbs, those guys, man. I know they're young and they're up and coming, but it's man, they're special because it's they're a lot stronger than people think for their size, and obviously you've seen the speed that those guys have. It's difficult to be able to tackle guys like that in open space because you obviously don't want to get ran over, but you also know they're running 4.3s and 4.2s and whatnot too, so you don't want to look like you're getting ran past too fast either. So. But there's a lot of guys, obviously Saquon's one of the guys, you just never know what he's going to do too. You've seen him hurdle somebody backwards last year. So it's man, there's a lot of the running back. I say the running backs in the league right now, man, it's special right now. There's a lot of great guys that's running the ball.
I'm pretty happy to hear you mention the Texas Longhorn. That's good.
Yeah, Bijan, man, that's my guy. We in the same agency. And like I said, that was my first time. I seen him in college, and you see guys in college ball is obviously a little different than NFL, but it's man, when I seen his first couple games and then playing him last year, man, he's gonna have a hell of a career ahead of him. So it's I can't wait to see what he gets done in the league.
So
that was Dallas Cowboys safety Malik Hooker joining the Blitz earlier today, live from Dallas Cowboys training camp up there in Oxnard, California, where they'll be all week long. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage also brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, Jim Beam, and AARP. Some breaking news during that interview as it happened, and unfortunately, I don't think it's very good news. We already know about Rob Jones and expected to miss 2 to 3 months due to a broken bone in his neck. Well, earlier today, Tyler Guyton went down in practice, and NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reports that it is feared to be a torn ACL, and he is awaiting an MRI right now, headed to get one and awaiting the results. So hopefully that MRI comes back clean and it is something less severe, but there is the potential that they could have just lost their starting left tackle for the season in Tyler Guyton, who was being very dependent on to come in, first round pick, second year, take a big jump this year and help solidify that offensive line that they have a lot invested into when you talk about Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton, Tyler Booker, Cooper Beebe, and financially in Terrence Steele. So Going to be very interesting to see how this plays out, where this goes from here, and what their move is if the MRI comes back bad for Tyler Guyton. We'll discuss more of this next, plus other news from around training camps like the Houston Texans, who could also have an injury issue on their hands. We'll discuss when we come back here on Extra Innings with Pledge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The offense for new head coach and play caller Brian Schottenheimer has been revamped. Offensive line revamped. A healthy Dak. New weapons with George Pickens to complement CeeDee Lamb. And a whole new running back room. And potentially a whole new philosophy on offense.
You wanted this noise. You wanted this noise.
We're taking you with us for all the insight from Oxnard, California. San Antonio Sports Stars. Coverage of Dallas Cowboys training camp. Brought to you by AA Best Bell Bonds. And sponsored in part by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, Jim Beam, and AARP. All this week, live from Oxnard, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 21st and 22nd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas.
Details and discounted rooms with promo code BLITZ available online at sasportstar.com.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone, come back. It's my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life, come back.
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6 for the perfect ride to work on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
That's true. Join them because they are putting in the early work for you, because since they're at the AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage, their day starts now at 4 o'clock Pacific time. Yep, that's right. They lost a couple hours, and that's got to make that week very, very difficult for them. But as I stated, as we went into break, Tyler Guyton, according to the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, feared to have a torn ACL. He is getting an MRI, and they are awaiting the results of that. But between him, Rob Jones, some early issues, at least via injury, on the Cowboys offensive line that we now have to have some legitimate concerns about, as we are now just a week and a half barely into camp. Other news around other camps, as stated by the Morning Huddle this morning, involved the Houston Texans and Joe Mixon and injuries and his potential availability.
Let's take a look at what's going on elsewhere in the league. Over in Houston, we now know Joe Mixon is going to be out for the majority, if not all, of the preseason.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future, for sure.
The foot injury still lingering for Joe Mixon. I don't know what to expect. I mean, this is an older running back now.
I'm worried. Should be. I mean, let's put it in the, even healthy dudes that miss training camp talk about how much of a get back it is to catch up to everybody, both physically and mentally. And we're dealing with an unhealthy dude that's going through the same thing. Now, you can sit there, but if you're not running around in practice, it's just different. I'm worried for the running back situation there, that he needs to be healthy.
The reports out of Texans camp, so far not good on offense. The talks are the offensive line still looks like a disaster. CJ Stroud was basically running all day, and obviously, Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter. There's some good guys on that line.
And the defense tends to be ahead of the offense.
CJ threw a pick six to Azeez Al-Shahir. And had some throws where it said his timing just looked off with his receivers. So early in the camp. Probably not a whole lot to be worried about.
The
but
Mixon thing is worthy of follow because I think the longer it goes and looking what his prognosis might be, they might be jumping in the market for a running back.
Yeah.
They might be looking for somebody.
Speaking of running backs, the Buffalo Bills, as they continue to negotiate with James Cook, James Cook is kind of doing the anti-Micah.
Yeah, but he's been mad for a year now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he also wants $15 million a year, apparently. That's what he said on his Instagram Live. $15 million a year, which would, that's Derrick Henry money.
Well, he has some hand. I mean, he's a very necessary part of what is,
you believe that?
I do. I do think, I mean, he is playing for the MVP, so his value is limited because he's playing with the best dude in the NFL. But I do think his value is such where he's not going to get that. But I would be asking for that. But I think that as much as anybody on that team, they need him to get where they want to go, and I think he realizes that. But there's no way he's going to get that kind of money.
You can't pay running backs that kind of money when you're all in with a quarterback.
But when you have this kind of leverage, and you think, well, anyway, when you think you have this kind of leverage on a Super Bowl bound team, and the value that you're bringing, I get the pay me this kind of value because. While they tried to pull the rug out of running backs a couple of years ago, I think last year, as much as any, proved the value of having a dude that can go get you 4 yards when you need it. And while Saquon's certainly more than that, there were 4 or 5 backs last year that all proved the mettle of the running game. And I think he feels like he's part of that group, and I don't blame him, but there's going to come a time where there's a number that you're not going to go over. You're just going to need to find it.
Yeah, well, he said, and by the way, he has participated so far. Like, he's been a full participant. He's not, holding in or whatever you want to call it. He's doing what he's supposed to do. But he said, we have talks. I mean, I deserve what I want, I need, and it's going to eventually happen. I mean, however it happens, it's going to get done wherever it happens at.
So that's the guy ready to sign. He's gonna sign.
We'll see.
He'll get paid, but because I think everybody in Buffalo realizes, if not him, who?
I don't think it matters.
Well, I think it matters in the regular season.
Does it really matter who's standing behind Patrick Mahomes?
No, but they always had somebody, and that's what I'm saying. So if it's not him, who?
Yeah,
and I mean, he will elevate that. But this is a team that legitimately feels like Super Bowl is there. If it's not that, it's a wasted year. I mean, and I think that he's trying to capitalize on that kind of mentality. But at the same time, if I'm general manager, I go, how how much value we will have if we do win this Super Bowl. So why don't you get in here right now and you'll make up that money elsewhere if we walk away with the ring.
Yeah, that would be the way I would look at it. But again, I'm not here to pocket watch everybody. All I'm saying is, if you come to me and say I want Derrick Henry money, we're not even having the same conversation.
I can't imagine that going on, but I do get the ask. You're not going to ever get what you don't ask for. But we're day 2.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Exactly, and this is the first week, but there will be the pressure to make sure you're an active player in the practices. And as long as that goes on, this might not happen anytime soon because what is Buffalo losing here?
Yeah,
you're practicing.
Look, when it comes to Buffalo, sure, I get it. James Cook is a great running back. They've recently drafted some, and Ray Davis, Frank Gore Jr. They brought in. Like they're planning for his exit because if he truly wants $15 million, that's not sustainable. Josh Allen literally just had the best season of his career after they took all his weapons away. They need to commit to weaponry, of course, but I think it's defensive side of the ball, and I think it is offensive weapons in terms of receivers, which they did. They extended Khalil Shakir. They drafted, and as important as I think James Cook is, and as good as a running back as he is, it is a position that is something that is replaceable in a sense by finding others through the draft, through free agency. I mean, look, we're salivating over Jaden Blue as a Dallas Cowboys fan and what you've seen from him so far and the potential that exists there. I mean, it may be in Buffalo's best interest to attempt to see if they can trade him throughout this training camp going into the season and maximize his value by getting something in return if you're not going to extend him. If you are going to extend him and you are going to give him that $15 to $18 million, then that's on you, and you got to figure out and adjust and figure out how to build that roster the best you can around Josh Allen and James Cook. But James Cook is even a bell cow with the way that they utilize him. I mean, they've got 3-4 backs that they run through there, plus Josh Allen runs the football. So what is James Cook's importance and how much is that worth? And I think that's going to be a very, very interesting thing to follow as training camp unfolds. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. One more thing as we get you set to take you to the top of the hour. The latest news we'll discuss. Tyler Guyton, Ian Rappaport reporting it is feared he may have torn his ACL in practice today. He is getting an MRI and they are awaiting results. What could that mean for the Cowboys as this season gets ready to unfold? We'll discuss and get you ready for the tomorrow, day 2 out at Cowboys camp. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Want to see Dallas take on Atlanta at AT&T Stadium? AARP is hooking you up.
I want winners.
Just head to sasportstar.com and register to win a pair of tickets to the Cowboys' final preseason game, Friday, August 22nd at 6 p.m.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys!
It's your chance to catch America's team live before the regular season kicks off.
I like this kind of party.
From AARP and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Free products and services are the best. They're next to non-existent, though. But the next best thing does exist. Barter. Alamo Barter. Right here in San Antonio, if you have a business and provide a product or service, you can barter with hundreds of other businesses that are already members. From trips to a medical visit, restaurants, and home services, Alamo Barter is a great way for you to trade out your skills with others. Call Alamo Barter or visit them online at alamobarter.com. alamobarter.com.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even bad hair day?
Yep.
And tree branch fell on my car day?
Especially that day. Progressive has you covered 24/7 for your home and auto.
How about thought it was chicken, but it was tuna day? Or overnight construction outside my bedroom day?
Those days too.
Great, because that was each day this week.
Been there. Well, at least your home and auto are covered every day with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
94.1 FM.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm James Pledger. Thank you for joining me. Jacob Eric on our YouTube live feed says, if he's Micah, he's pulling up tomorrow with a lawn chair, umbrella, and an ice chest. Which, fair. That is very fair because Micah has seen a couple of people go down and practice today over the last week so far. And this is why he is not practicing right now. This is exactly why that he is experiencing back tightness, if you would. And it's okay because this is the art of it. If you're trying to cash in, you can't put yourself at risk and give all the negotiating power to Jerry at that point in time. Fred Record says, damn, ACL, we already a week on the O-line. That news sucks. Fred Villarreal, unfortunate news. It's extremely unfortunate because you have to wonder what's the plan at offensive tackle. Do we finally get to see Matt Waletzko? Speaking of health, can he stay healthy? Will they be looking at Angie Cornelius or Hakeem Adeniji or Awesome Richards? Or do they potentially flip Tyler Smith out to left tackle in the meantime and try and supplement on the interior the way they've done before? It's going to be very, very interesting because you've got Booker. You brought in a Shadiq Charles. You have TJ Bass, who has started on that offensive line. Hell, you have Brock Hoffman, who started on that offensive line. I mean, you have pieces in place to supplement for Tyler Smith, and Tyler Smith being potentially your best option at left tackle moving forward, unless you potentially make a trade for someone and another camp that has a plethora at that position, or maybe and I'm not saying this is a hypothetical. The Houston Texans, they drafted Blake Fisher in the second round last year. They drafted Ariante Ursary this year. Those could be their tackles of the future. Could their investment in Cam Robinson be expendable now in a trade to the Dallas Cowboys on a short-term one-year deal that could plug a hole for them while Tyler Smith, if the news turns out to be true after an MRI and he ends up out for the season? Just throwing spaghetti against the wall, but it's definitely a major point of concern and a focal point now. We'll have more on it starting tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. Pacific time, 6 a.m. here. The Morning Huddle with Rob and AJ will get you going. Then the Blitz from 2 to 6. And, of course, I'll close out the night from 6 to 7. Remember, call your loved ones, check on them. You never know what people are going through in life. We will see you back here tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel on San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the second annual Back to School Drive this Saturday from 11 till 1 p.m. or while supplies last at the Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school age